grandkids were up to you.
All right, let's call this select board meeting to order, May 14th at 6:01 p.m. Let's rise and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody clicked my pen.
That was me. Here, you want to
Sorry, Norma.
You're welcome. That was me, sitting there, just calling my name.
Okay, first order of business. I move that we approve the meeting minutes for April 23rd, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, we have signed those. Okay, warrant number 24. Expenses to date for this warrant, $119,418. Receipts, $54,615. And we have bumped up our total amount of real estate taxes collected year to date by a tiny bit. We're at 88%. Okay, let's start open session. Questions, comments, concern from you fine townspeople.
Whoa, yeah.
Okay, well, if we have no questions, we'll move on to the RSU 10 report system.
That went fast.
Alright. We had a school board meeting last night and we signed the budget warrants that are gonna get posted all around town for the annual budget meeting that is gonna be coming up. And as I've been saying at all the other meetings, we will have a budget information meeting this upcoming Monday, May 20th at Buckfield, Warren.
That was the right direction.
Thank you, at 6:30. So this is the informational meeting. If you have any questions, the superintendent, the board will be there. So come on out and ask questions. And then in nearly 2 weeks, that would be on Wednesday, May 29th at 6:30 at the Mountain Valley High School Muskie Auditorium. That is when the annual budget meeting will be voted on by every single person who shows up. So floor amendments can happen. So if you are a citizen and you know some other citizens who would like to weigh in on this, that's their chance for their vote to count for each and every citizen that is registered to be a voter. So from the whole district will be there. So I don't think anything else has really happened other than, do we have a Tool Hill guardrail yet? Any
No broken.
further communications? Okay,
Didn't you say June last meeting or 2 meetings ago?
that's what we've been told, but
Yeah.
there's been no direct communications with the contract company?
No.
Do you know who it is, the contract company?
Yes, I do.
You do,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
alright. Do you wanna try and give them a call and see if like they might, I mean, I don't know if they want you to. give them
Yeah,
a call.
I'll probably give them a call one of these days.
I've probably exhausted Devin as much as I can.
Yeah.
He sees me coming down, he's like, I'm out of here. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Alright,
Thank you, Kristen.
okay, code enforcement officer report, Fred. Fred's not here tonight, but Fred, if you watch this, I'd like to thank you for helping us with the work we're doing in regards to our ordinance adjustment we'll be voting on. Thanks for what you provided from Otis Field that we're able to work on and tweak to make fit for our town. Okay, Fire department, Doug.
Right now, OSHA is trying to pass a lot of new regulations, make them tougher on us. Like our equipment and our gear can't be any older than 10 years older, which is putting strain on a lot of volunteer fire departments. If a lot of these regulations pass, we ain't gonna be in a very good spot. So, looks like the only way around it is become a complete volunteer fire department with no stipends, so we gotta figure out how we're gonna get covered with workman's comp without getting paid.
Do you know when that's supposed to take effect, if it does?
Still hasn't passed yet, so we're still, yeah. Gonna put us in a tough spot.
Is that because of all the things we've been hearing in the news about all of the chemicals and things that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in OSHA state forever, not in NFPA. The NFPA standards are a lot tougher.
Oh,
So did the legislature have to make us an NFPA state?
Not yet, but they're trying to make it that way.
And I would suspect that 90% of the fire departments in Maine are in rough shape if that would pass.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
so
think
a lot
it
of
might
it,
be behoove us as a town to contact our legislators and let them know that.
Yeah.
So this is a state legislation, not federal,
OSHA's federal, I
Federal,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
so it's not our state
I mean,
legislation.
our guys would be okay with volunteering, but it's a matter of being covered with workman's comp. If one of us get hurt on a fire call or something, and can't go to work for the next month or so,
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
So it would be Susan Collins, Angus King, Jared Golden we would have to contact then, since it's a federal, yes?
Yeah.
It's federal, okay,
And Shelley Pingree,
yes. Got it, okay.
even though she doesn't represent our district.
Right, yeah, okay.
just a heads up, they put us in a tough spot.
yeah.
Road support.
Yeah, I've been around patching, I've been on every road out there, there's still a few little ones, I got the major ones. I ran out of patch, I think I put out about 6 or 7 yards in the last couple of weeks. The roads were terrible. So now I gotta get some more ordered up, and the number that I had has been disconnected, so I gotta do some more research to where to find it. I hope in next week we're gonna start on Lower Sumner Hill. Keeping my fingers crossed. When you're dealing with contractors, they'll tell, oh yeah, we'll be there. And but I'm gonna do a culvert up on 2 culverts on Sumner Hill first, and then hopefully move down there next week and start ripping that up. There is still some major holes around, and I think I'm gonna go around and put some reclaim in them because they're real bad. I didn't want to use up all my patch in some of the bigger holes, so I'll put some reclaim in them. That's about it on the roads.
Is BIM being sick affecting what we're doing, or getting done?
No,
Not affecting us.
Alright, thanks, Sean. Okay, forms, reports, correspondence. Alright.
Oh, we missed his ACO report.
yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, the highlight of the
Highlight of the
meeting.
evening.
We're still looking for somebody, please,
Yes.
anytime.
Yeah,
Did, either of you,
I don't
I
know.
will, no, I apologize, I dropped the ball on that. I will talk to her tomorrow. I'm gonna
Okay.
be working her
there was a
property.
lady you thought in town that might want
Yeah.
to do?
Yep, okay,
I saw her yesterday and spaced it.
that's about it on that.
alright, we're getting close to town meeting time, so we got our, town report coming out soon, and so we have got, opening of report printing bids. Wow. Okay. From Franklin Printing, we have a bid of $1,594 for 450. From Snowman Group, we have a bid of $2,430. $450. From Express Copy, we have a bid of $1,692 for 450 reports. Okay, this is just a sample. I was wondering why you were handing me such a big envelope. I'm like, that's quite a bid. Okay, so,
Is that thunder?
Yes.
so out of the 3 bids,
Therefore.
I thought Grassroots Graphics was,
Yeah, that envelope
The
we
one
just
in
opened
the
up
envelope?
does have a bid.
oh, yes it does. Okay, thank you. Grassroots Graphics. Bid of $3,289 for 450 reports.
Was the first bid for 400 reports or 450?
They were all for 450.
Okay.
So my only question before I just personally choose the lowest bidder is, do you guys in the office know of any reason why we should pick one slightly higher than the other?
that
for
would
any
be a Susan
particular-
question, cause Susan
reason.
knows
I
more.
don't, I looked through all of them to see that their specs were matching our requests, and they were. 2 of the companies we've worked with before at different times, and neither of them have the low bid. I see no reason not to go with the low bid, and we may know more by next year.
Yeah. Was the second low bid one of the ones we'd used before? Cause it was like
The other 2 that were nearby,
either nearby, yeah.
We- I used Snowman the whole time I was here in the last chapter. And, Express was what was used the last couple of years.
So $100 difference in the
Yeah.
lowest to the Express.
Franklin is in Farmington, so it would be nice to be local.
I'm all about supporting local business, plus we know what we're getting. Any discussion before personally, I would motion that we accept Franklin Printing's bid. They're really close to the lowest, but they're a local business, and we know what we're getting.
They are the lowest.
I was gonna say, aren't they
Oh,
the
wait a
lowest?
minute.
They are the
They're
lowest.
really
Yeah.
close to the lowest.
$16.94.
You're intimately close to us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Express.
less,
Yeah, about $100.
Yeah, okay. Well, that really makes it a no-brainer.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor of Franklin Printing's bid for $1,594 for 450 reports? Okay, done. Alright,
Oh, just one question. Do they do the direct mail or that was something that I picked up here?
They deliver them to us here,
To us here, right.
and we put them out through the post office.
Okay.
Just wasn't sure how that was handled.
Can I take those for them?
You certainly may. You probably should.
Probably should.
Before we get an email tomorrow, took them home.
There's somewhere out there.
I can do that on this.
Okay.
She's saying let it go, Joe.
Had to let go.
Stuck. I couldn't pull it back out. Okay. Okay, new business. We already discussed the fact that we will soon have a vacancy for animal control officer. So if any of you guys know of anyone that might make a good one, please pass the word to have them contact the town. Okay, so one of the things coming up in phase 2 of our endeavors to grow our town capabilities and abilities to take care of the people of Sumner is we need to get a board of appeals up and going. So right now we have no board of appeals, so we have essentially at least 3 openings. So if you know of anyone that would like to be on the board of appeals, that would be great.
What's the criteria?
So you obviously can't be on the planning board or have a conflict of interest with someone on the planning board, but if you have knowledge of general rules, regulations, statutes for or at least be able to familiarize yourself with our ordinance and the state statutes as far as an example would be if someone put in a septic system that the planning board said, we're not approving that for XYZ reasons, and someone comes to you and says, well, I think that it should be approved because according to the state of Maine, I can do XYZ. The appeals board would first attempt to review all of the rules related to that appeal, and hopefully just what typically happens is the intended outcome is that the law is more carefully reviewed and explained, and a compromise is made where the person, having been aware of why the rules are such that the planning board ruled, they need to comply and problem solve. Otherwise, if the appeals board rules in favor of the planning board, then the next step for the complainant would be, at that point, they would take that to court. So.
A Board of Appeals member also would get a whole notebook. It's like a manual from the state, so you'd have to review that, probably do a training session. And typically Board of Appeals doesn't meet that often, only if there's an appeal. It could be years, it could be
One of the
6 months.
appeals board members in Canton told me they usually end up needing to discuss something around twice a year.
Really?
Yeah. So.
I've never had an appeal
It's
while
been
I've been here.
It's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
place
That's
if you
right,
get this, because there would be time built in for learning what needs to be learned.
Also, as far as openings go, Don Berry is going to be retiring or stepping down from the planning board after this season, so we will have 2 openings for the planning board. Old business. Hub agreement for GWI for the select board to discuss and review. Do we have any new items to discuss?
I don't know, well, Jesse and I were probably, I know I probably dropped the ball on it, and I don't know if Jesse's fault. We're trying to figure out what we need to do in order to take off a section of the gravel pit.
Yeah, the last,
And
so I met with Tom Gilmore at the town property up here, and he basically said what would work for their site or what have you. Wouldn't be where the sand is, and it wouldn't be on the road to go out back. It would be kind of in between, take out a group of trees, etc. So the question came up, I believe it was at the planning board, select board meeting last week. It was last week, right?
Marcia?
Marcia had brought up, do we need to, send that to a town vote as to allow GWI to put something on town property for the sum total of 50 years. So, and the other discussion was, that I've had with Thomas, was the rate. So their original proposal was for, it's either 10 by 20 or 12 by 20. That's roughly, the square footage is not that big, but their offer is $175 a month for the course of 50 years as a lease agreement. That would increase as, according to their original agreement, their lease would increase as internet service providers increased. So essentially, it was basically covering the cost for free internet service for the town office. So Bill had done some research, reached out to other companies that do the same thing and have similar sized huts and stuff. And the industry kind of norm standard that we've been told is between $450 a month and $1,000.
There you go.
So, so my question, maybe I forgot to ask Diane, was basically we need to find out if we need to send it to a town vote. I believe it ought to.
It sounds like what I got back from MMA.
You did discuss it
They
with them.
said if it was ever voted on at a town meeting before, that the town could make decisions about town property,
Mhm.
that would be fine, but they thought it sounded like if we didn't know that it would have to go before the townspeople, so.
Now, should we have, if that should be on a warrant then to be voted on, do we need to come up with what we want for a price and delineate the area where it's going to be located and go through all of that before our town meeting?
I don't think there's time. I think you'd have to have a special town meeting after.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think.
I could be wrong, but I think.
Right. So that's where that is at. So I messaged Thomas, because he emailed me at the first of, maybe it was the end of last week, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember, and wanted to know where the status was. He wanted to keep the ball rolling, etc. And I told him that most likely it was going to go to a town vote. If the soonest it could possibly happen would be June 22nd, if we could get it on there, and that our research shows that the offer of 175 is a little bit subpar on what these types of things should be pulling for
Would it
a lease agreement.
Would it be appropriate for us to put on the warrant, essentially seeking permission from the town for us to negotiate? One, to put the hub
Mm-hmm.
at that location, and two, for us to
Reach
enter,
terms.
negotiation
Mm-hmm.
on terms,
I don't see why not.
and
That
then
could push it forward.
that would keep things rolling a bit, and then if we needed to have a special to approve what we come up with numbers for an agreement,
Mhm.
we could do such.
And we know where the location is, so we could
Yeah,
probably,
I could
we could probably mark that
The
off.
only, yeah, the only
So-
thing that I didn't, he had mentioned, which I don't know what that exact feet, that measurement is because 219 is a state road. DOT requires it to be further off of the road. I don't know what that exact measurement is. So like, we can't build anything, our town ordinance is 65 feet. But he said that dealing with DOT in other towns, they've had a real problem because they basically got it too close to the road originally, and I mean, it was not like it was sitting on the road, but as far as DOT was concerned, it was too close. So that was the only thing, and I don't remember what he said for a measurement. But we could stake off the general area. I mean, it's not, it's not huge. It's 12 by 20 or whatnot. So.
And I think we would realize taxes on that parcel also, so we can make it a little larger than.
Right. Yeah. Which would work out pretty good. I mean, as far as inconvenience, as far as whatever, it's kind of tucked out of the way where I don't see wouldn't really be in the way. And then Sean, I was talking to Sean, and he was under the impression that they needed to require an acre or whatever. So maybe it was just a misunderstanding, but they only need the acre lot or a place to operate out of while they construct the lines. The actual lease agreement would only be for that 12 by 20 pad.
Yeah.
So,
John, as road commissioner, do you see any potential problems with?
It's just scary, 50 years is a long time, you never know what's gonna go on in 50 years. And we're gonna have that building right at the beginning of our entrance.
so the other thing that was mentioned, and he tried to reel it back in, but it was too late, is it technically could be moved.
It could be what?
It could be picked up and moved.
Yeah, 'cause it ain't that big a building, so.
It's 10 by 20 roughly. He said he said that if we put it here and something happened down the road, they could move it out back if they absolutely had to. I'm guessing they would fight that if we had a lease agreement with them, but
Definitely get them to put that in writing.
In writing.
yeah. So that's where that's at. To keep that moving forward, we would have to figure out how to get that on the warrant for the 22nd.
I don't know, in lieu of the extra information, I feel like, I don't know, I can go either way. I'll weigh in on the other select board members as to whether you wanna make a motion on putting that on, or if we wanna put it off until we, negotiate further.
I would revert to deputy clerk. Do you think you have time to get this on the warrant?
I don't know.
That'd be tight.
Yeah.
I just think the warrant in the town report is about ready to go. When is the town report going to print?
I think we would phrase it in a way we have the other ordinances that the full document to be considered would be available at the time that the warrant's posted.
I tell you what, let's,
I say we convert it. So
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that the hut is all that important to what they're doing now, anyway. I mean,
It's the next step.
you're right, it's coming down.
Yeah. But
They'd just like to get that taken care of.
so let's just, let's make an action agreement as far as what we're gonna, that we're gonna communicate and when, so that we can.
Well, we want to find out whether the town is in favor of having the hut there for the next 50 years before we,
I mean, does this have to be a 50-year agreement?
that's what they're looking for, yeah. I don't agree with 50-year agreement. So, yeah, I don't know. I won't be around 50 years to worry
All right, how about this? How about we just motion to put on the warrant whether or not the town agrees on that location.
That'd give us something to work with going forward.
For the next 50 years.
Are there any alternatives, you guys, anymore? I know there were some, they're out the door, and so this
Yeah,
is the
not
last.
now, I don't think, we had
Newton.
the Newton property, but we still can't move on that. You know, the other piece of property, the one between Chet Welding and, Mrs. Stevens, is that actually town property, or was that,
No, the lady owns it.
somebody, yeah, she owns that.
She hired that company that took forever to tear it down.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's still private, she still owns private.
She was looking to sell that, though. I mean, that might be, but they don't, for some reason, they don't want to own their own property. They want to use town property, municipal property for their hut sites. And I asked them why, and it's just how we do business. So, what's that?
It's cheaper.
They're right there.
Cheaper? Oh, yeah, they don't know. So we good with that?
So you want a motion to
Okay.
put on the warrant whether or not the town agreed, if the townspeople agree?
So I motion,
Can I add something?
yes.
I think there are a lot of very important issues on the warrant already. And this does not feel developed to the degree that it's going to be an easy presentation or answer. I feel in our best interest of the town and what our priorities are, it would be best to deal with it at a separate town meeting.
Thank you for weighing in. Fair enough, that
Yeah.
seals the deal for me.
We'll kick that down the road some more.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, moving faster only helps them, it doesn't help the town in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. I guess unless you need internet. maybe.
We're in control of that situation. We're in control.
Yeah.
They gotta wait for us.
I mean, they're basically gonna be buying their internet from the provider that we all have right now. The only difference is it's gonna be fiber, so the people at the end of the line won't have the same speeds as the people closer. It's really about the only difference. Okay. That's all I've got for old business. Upcoming events. We're reaching, 2 weeks left for the auction of Nancy Newton's quilt that you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, can look at in the office. It's gonna be raffled off. The Ladies Auxiliary is receiving donations in memory of Betty Walder. The raffle tickets are $1 each or $5 for 6 tickets. And the drawing's gonna be held on June 1st.
Which is the big yard sale.
So it's a big yard sale.
Oh, I should,
So you can bet I'm probably gonna be there.
just so you know, actually, I forgot of something I was going to bring up, just because it's at that yard sale. So, Doug, that fire barn that's down there, all the stuff that's in there is of no use to the fire department, correct?
No.
So there's some ladders down there, there's a bunch of old masks and so forth that are in there. So the plan was to get that cleaned out, inventoried, and
Bring it to the
bring it
sale.
to the sale and sell whatever we could, and then get that. There is that building that's in there that we'll figure out where we're gonna what we're
Once we
gonna do.
get the ladders and stuff out of the way.
Figure out how big it is, what
Yeah.
it is, and maybe at some point, you know, we got salt shed issues.
So basically, anything in there, we can put in the ad sale.
We could put in the yard sale, I guess.
The road signs, is that something that you can use, or should they go in the?
No, I'm probably gonna go down and go through it, and. what I
Skip
want.
Douglas would like to buy those road signs for his ATV trails, the curved signs, whatever, if we're not gonna use them. So if they go in the ad sale, he'll be looking
Yeah,
for
the
them.
slow signs are going on Valley Road.
No early birds at the yard sale.
We're moving the stuff, right? So.
So I guess the easiest way of probably doing that is doing it that morning. I got a trailer dump, we can throw everything in there and just bring it up
I would
here.
think, so maybe we could meet down there and go through
Go through
everything,
everything,
set
put
it
it in a
aside,
pile. Yep.
and then have it ready to move up that day.
Right.
7 a.m.
That way we're not
Stuff here.
moving things twice and trying to
Right.
figure out where to store stuff.
So
I can
then,
bring the dump truck too.
Oh, no, you
You
are
are
gonna
already
be, you're spoken for.
Alright,
Your dump truck is not available.
belay my last.
You have orders already.
Okay.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, that was my thoughts.
Every year he's contracted out the Ways Auxiliary.
Alright.
Well, you'll have to have all you're gonna be there too.
Anybody with a truck, come on down.
Okay, so May 20th at 6:30 is the school budget Nazinskit Regional Information Meeting. There will be opportunities for the public to ask questions. And this is going to be located at the Buckfield Junior Senior High School cafeteria. Once again, that's May 20th at 6:30. The annual budget meeting district vote for the RSU 10 budget is going to be at the Mountain Valley High School Auditorium, May 29th at 6:30. We have an election coming up in a few weeks for the primary. That's gonna be here at the town office, June 11th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have an informational budget meeting for the town budget on Thursday, June 13th at 6 p.m. Town meeting is Saturday, June 22nd. I should have put a
I
time
was gonna say,
down.
I should have put the time in, it is 9, right? Oh, I lost it, but I think it's 9. Pretty sure it's 9.
9 a.m.
9 or 10?
I
10,
thought
I
it
think
was-
it's
I
10.
thought it was 10.
Yeah.
I think it's 10, 'cause we talked about doing something before at 9 and then shot it down at the budget meeting.
Oh, okay, last I heard, I thought it was 9. Guess we'll have to figure that out, won't we?
Okay, to be determined.
She says 9?
9 a.m.
Okay,
Well,
9 a.m.
glad we shot down what we were gonna do before, because that would've been 8 a.m.
That sounds like a Bill Glass suggestion.
Yeah, it was.
It actually came from Terry Hayes.
Okay.
It was a 9
Request.
o'clock or not me.
All right.
9 it is.
9 it is.
I like 9.
Okay, and one other thing I would like to add, since we're making announcements of times and dates, is the 21st of this month, before the select board meeting. No,
No, planning board.
before the, sorry, fire me. Please. The 21st, before the planning board meeting, that's gonna be the hearing for the ordinance changes and amendments. So I would like to know more or ask questions prior to voting at the town meeting, that's your opportunity to do it.
So it's the public hearing for all the ordinances,
That is correct.
at what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah, the planning board meeting will be after the
Public hearing.
public hearing is over.
Okay.
We are, I believe, doing it in the fire department.
Yes. Yes, to be held here in the fire barn.
Did we want to announce the after the town meeting function?
Yes, and just for your planning purposes, in case you need to go through your recipe books, we're having a potluck after the town meeting. Everyone in town is invited. Bring your favorite whatever it is to eat and share. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I'll make the motion to adjourn. He seconds it.
I'm seconding. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor? All right, meeting adjourned at 6:43 PM.